Patricia Durgin, founder of ProfitFromYourMessage.com. Today I'm at the Christian Product Expo in Murfreesboro, Tennessee that's hosted by the Muntz Group. And I've just met a wonderful lady, talented, beautiful, and she has a fantastic message. Her name is Diana Sharples. Thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you, Patricia.
It just so happens that we lived in a really similar, close area that's isolated, and most people don't even know it exists.
Most people don't know it.
We just found out that we both used to live in that area. She still lives there, and I used to. Today we're talking about, you're here to...
I signed some books yesterday, and today I'm hobnobbing and traveling around and looking at stuff that I can't buy.
Are we all?
They won't let me buy it.
So you're also here to speak with Christian retailers.
Yes.
And meet them, help them understand about your book, get them interested in stalking your book.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell us anything about what that's like?
Well, really it's just like talking with people and trying to get them interested in the story. And if you can get their attention with the story and get that ooh reaction, then that's a good thing. And also it's about making personal connections with people.
Yes.
So that's a big deal with the booksellers. They're people. They're not just big boxes and.
Yes, that's a great point, because we forget that who are here represent small Christian bookstores.
Yes.
And they really are intimately acquainted with the books and other products that they carry.
Yes. And there's been so much buzz lately about social media and doing your marketing on social media, and that's all very important, but I found that I've had my best results in face-to-face.
Yes.
With individuals in getting the book sold, getting them interested in the book, stocking the book, and I've been doing a lot of book signings lately. And the way I've done that is just going into the stores and meeting with the managers and saying,
on your
hey, yes, on my own. Hey, how can we work together? How can we get some people in your store? And yeah, it's been working out pretty well.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And this is, we always want help. Who doesn't want help?
Exactly.
But we can do it on our own if that's the way the Lord guides. Or even do it on our own for a period of time and then get help.
Right.
He's so creative.
With my publisher was excellent. They were wonderful when the book first came out, and they did some awesome things that I never could have done on my own, like radio interviews and that sort of thing. That I would not have had the contacts or the credentials to do that. So they helped me out a lot with that, and they're still helping me out. But they have other projects come up.
Yes.
And there's only so many people who work there and only so many hours in the day. And so the older stuff, my book is a year old, it kind of slips off to the side. And sometimes I have to send them an email or call them up and say, hey, I'm still here,
And that's a normal course of business.
It's a normal course of business, yeah, it is. So.
And you have your book with you?
I do, right here.
And
There it is.
And tell us the plot, please.
Basically, this is about a North Carolina farm boy who he has lost his brother in Afghanistan, and so he's kind of reeling from that loss and grief. His girlfriend, Stacy, she really steps up and she just always knows the right thing to say. Okay, and he comes from a very large family. So there's all these people, and they're all kind of dealing with the grief on their own, not really connecting with each other, not really knowing what to say to each other. So Stacy is there for Calvin when he's going through this. Suddenly he realizes that her diet is not just a diet, that she's starting to faint at school, or she's having a lot of sick days. And he figures out that he knows she's been losing a lot of weight. He finds out that she's actually anorexic. And so the book is about his efforts to try and save her from herself.
Oh, his efforts.
His efforts, yes.
He's not the anorexic, but
No.
he loves the anorexic.
Exactly.
Woo, that's an interesting spin.
Yeah, it's a little different from there's been a few books that took that angle with it, but most of them are from the perspective of the person who's suffering. And I do switch back and forth between their two perspectives in the book. Like he'll get one chapter, she'll get a chapter.
Oh, I see.
Right, but he is the protagonist of the book. He is the hero of the book. So.
Well, we won't ask you how it ends because that's why you're supposed to buy the book.
That's right.
Now,
That's
you have a website, Diana?
I do. It's just DianaSharples.com.
Okay. And do you speak?
I do.
Tell us about that, please.
And I want to do more. Yeah.
Oh, want to do more, just a
Want
note.
to do more. I can speak on writing topics. I can speak to youth groups on anorexia. Obviously, I did a whole lot of research for this book. And, you know, just teen issues and things that I've learned as a youth worker and in working with the book and raising my own child.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your history as a youth worker.
Okay, well, I just volunteered at church and got involved and got my hands dirty and put 7 kids in my Jeep and drove them somewhere.
That's experience right there.
Just really got involved with the kids, and I love interacting with them. Yeah.
You have a really vibrant personality.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of energy, but
Thank you.
in a good way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My doctor said I have the heart of an 18-year-old.
Oh,
I'll take it.
Sweet. You got a lot more writing to do.
Yes, I do.
Do you think there'll be more books?
We're working on it. Yeah, my agent has the second one. It's called Finding Hero, and we're hoping to hear some news on that pretty soon.
Is it a follow-up to this or a totally new
It's
project?
the same setting. The
Okay.
same setting, the same high school.
Oh.
Calvin makes a little appearance in it just for fun. You know, people who've read this will see
Interesting.
Calvin and go, there he is! You know?
So not a series, but not a standalone either.
Exactly. Each book can stand alone, but they're all together.
Okay.
Same setting.
Okay.
And then I'm working on one right now called When Pigs Fly, which is going to be a little bit different. It's going to have some humor in it, as the title suggests. But it's about a boy who pretends to be the father of his best friend's unborn child so that she won't be forced to have an abortion.
Oh my goodness.
So it's like, what?
That's
How
another
does that
totally
work?
unique spin.
How does that work out?
Wow.
Because most guys would say, I feel for you, but you're
So
on
glad
young.
it's not me.
Yan young, as they say in Georgia.
That's
Yan
right.
young.
We'll spell that for you later because
Yeah.
we're both from Georgia, so we know what that means.
One resource that I really, really like, and it's something that came up really since I did the research, so it's something I discovered recently, and I wish I'd had it when I was doing the research. It's so good. It's National Eating Disorders Association, and their website is nationaleatingdisorders.org.
Okay.
And they have just a tremendous amount of information and a helpline. They've got one thing called a parent toolkit, which is a 96-page manual that you can download for free.
Okay.
And I have printed that out and taken it with me to book signings because you always meet someone
Yeah.
who
Yes.
knows someone or is dealing with it themselves or
Silently or publicly.
Yes.
Okay, let me
So
ask you
it's
about that.
it's an awesome resource for free, and it's got so much information about eating disorders, about what to look for, about how to cope with it, how to talk to your daughter, or whoever you might know. In Calvin's case, it would be a friend, and also where to seek treatment and things like that.
And it's national, so it's
Yes.
very broad-based.
Yes, yeah, and they have a helpline for people who are suffering.
Great. So if you suffer from this or have suffered
Yes.
or you know and love someone who has, this book, would you show it to us again?
Yes.
So we know what we want when we go to the bookstore? Get this book and as a gift. Christmas is coming up, we're just saying.
Christmas is coming.
And
That's
this
right.
is fiction, so it's non-invasive, but still.
Exactly. That's what I like about it. One of the things I like about it is it's not confrontational as if you've got a nonfiction book and it's like, here's what you do, here's what you... I'll let the National Eating Disorders Association handle that one. This is entertaining for anyone, really. Adults as well are reading it and enjoying it.
Well, that makes me wonder, what about youth workers, pastors?
Youth workers, pastors, yeah. This it would be a good resource to kind of get your foot wet and figure out.
Because a lot of people think they know, but they really
There's so many public misconceptions
Yes.
about eating disorders, and it's really disheartening. When you hear people say, "Oh, it's just a trend," you know,
Well, it's been a pretty long trend.
it's not just
over
a
3
trend.
decades, and it
or,
didn't
or
start
it's
then.
just a choice. You know, someone chooses to behave that way, and of course, there's that moment when, for a child or a person, any age really, just decides, "I don't want to eat," okay, or "I need to purge this food," or whatever the case may be. There's a moment when they make that decision, but as they go along, it becomes like an addiction, and the psychology of it actually works together with the physiological aspects. The body, you would think that the body would just demand food.
Yes. I'll do
But
that.
as they go along, their bodies change so that the body is actually repelled by food or can't take in food.
It sort of falls in line.
Right, right. So
Interesting.
it's a circular thing that just builds and builds and builds. And when the person is actually at the point of getting sick, they have no control anymore. Something that people say is that it's about control, and it is about control from a mental aspect. The person is often trying to control that aspect of his or her life. I'm not going to take this food in because I have this goal. And of course, the goal is unrealistic. The goal is unhealthy. That's the control they think they have, but even as they go along, they realize it's the Anna, as some girls with anorexia call it. It's almost like a voice in their head telling them what to do. It's a psychological disorder.
This is so interesting. And let's say again that this information fueled the book. It's a fiction work about a young boy and a young girl who care about each other. She
Yes.
helps him, and then he wants to help her in ways that he
Exactly.
never expected because he had no clue.
Exactly. And in one point in the book, his mother says a 16-year-old should never have to deal with this sort of
Yes.
thing. And the thing is, they deal with it all the time. All the time.
Such a deep, compelling, but still entertaining.
Yes.
Still entertaining. A
Yes.
beautiful story is a beautiful story, no matter
Thank you.
what the rest of the elements are. Thanks very much for joining me. I so
thank you. It's
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure.
These are the people that we meet when we go to events for authors and speakers. We get to meet people face to face, just as you
Yes,
said.
absolutely.
The connection is different. It's a different quality connection. See what you think. Try new things.
Absolutely.
Go to new places. Allow the Lord to bless you with new experiences, and then see what happens as a result of being brave. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.